Paris 1348. You walk slowly through narrow stone streets that once rang with laughter and voices. Now they feel heavy. The air hangs low between tall, leaning houses, carrying the smell of ash, candle smoke, and something sour you cannot name. It clings to your throat. Somewhere behind shuttered windows, a child coughs, and the sound echoes longer than it should. Market stalls stand half open. Crates of apples sit untouched. Baskets of bread grow cold in the pale light. Merchants speak quietly and avoid meeting each other's eyes. Coins change hands without sound. No one lingers. No one laughs. A wooden cart creaks past you, its wheels groaning under sacks of grain. The driver keeps his head low. A woman pulls her cloak tight around her face and steps aside as it passes. Someone coughs behind you. The sound feels too loud, as if it has broken an unspoken rule. Along a narrow lane, several doors are marked with pale chalk symbols. No one says what they mean, but everyone knows. Curtains remain drawn long after the sun has risen. A shutter opens only long enough to pass a loaf of bread outside, then closes again. By the Seine, barges drift slowly along dark water. Sailors speak in lowered voices. Barrels are unloaded quickly and rolled away. Hands are wiped on wool sleeves. No one lingers at the water's edge. No one looks toward the far bank. Bells begin to ring again, slow, heavy, too often. Their sound spreads across the rooftops and settles into courtyards, stairwells, and narrow lanes. Paris listens. In a small chapel near a crooked street, candles burn in long, uneven rows. Kneeling figures whisper prayers for healing, for forgiveness, for children who no longer answer their names. Some pray for bread, some pray for mercy, some pray for silence. At the edge of a graveyard, fresh earth lies darker than the rest. Wooden markers lean at tired angles. Names are written hastily, if they are written at all. A man stands quietly beside one mound, his hands folded, his face hidden beneath his hood. The city still breathes, but not deeply. It moves, but slowly. Every step feels careful, as if Paris itself is afraid to disturb something that is already watching. From a distant tower, a bell rings once more. Paris does not answer. You move deeper into the heart of the city, where the streets narrow and the light fades sooner than it should. Timber houses lean over the stone lanes, their windows shuttered tight, their doorways marked with chalk crosses and hurried symbols. A thin ribbon of smoke rises from one chimney, then another, but most remain dark and silent. A woman kneels at a small wooden shrine tucked into the corner of an alley. 3 candles burn low before a painted saint. Her lips move, but no sound comes out. She does not look up when you pass. She does not need to. Not far away, a bell begins to ring again. It is slower now, lower. You feel it in your chest before you hear it. At a narrow crossing, a healer has opened a small wooden stall. Bundles of dried herbs hang from beams overhead, tied with twine. Bowls of crushed leaves and roots sit on a rough table. People gather quietly, keeping a careful distance from one another. Some hide their faces in hoods. Some whisper names into the healer's ear and slide a coin across the wood. She works slowly, carefully. Her hands do not tremble. Across the square, carts stand half-loaded. A merchant argues softly with a driver, his voice strained, his eyes darting toward the marked houses. Nearby, a group of children is pulled quickly indoors by a woman who glances over her shoulder before shutting the door behind them. The Seine moves steadily through the city, but fewer boats crowd its banks now. Sailors coil ropes and roll barrels in silence. A man coughs once, then turns away as if embarrassed by the sound. Others step back without saying why. In a narrow courtyard, laundry hangs stiff on lines that barely move in the still air. A stray cat slips between baskets and disappears beneath a stairwell. Somewhere above, a window opens just long enough to throw a bucket of grey water into the street. It splashes, then is gone. The city is learning a new rhythm. Markets open later, taverns close earlier, voices stay low, doors shut fast, and everywhere bells continue to roll across the rooftops, reminding Paris that it is still being counted. Paris grows quiet in a way that feels unnatural. Streets that once echoed with carts and laughter now carry only the sound of footsteps. A door closes. Somewhere a spoon strikes a bowl. A prayer is whispered and swallowed by the walls. At the edge of the city, Wagons wait outside the gates. Some are loaded with sacks and chests. Others are empty, waiting for bodies. Guards avoid looking inside them. A man stands on a stone step, reading out names from a parchment list. No one answers. Farther inside the city, church doors open again. Candles are relit. Low voices gather beneath tall arches. Incense drifts through pale shafts of light. Families kneel together. Some hold hands. Some hold empty space where a hand should be. In the graveyards, fresh earth rises in uneven lines. Wooden markers tilt in damp soil. There is no room to space them apart anymore. Paris is still breathing, but every breath feels counted. And every night, as lanterns dim and the last bells fade into silence, the city waits, listening for who will be missing tomorrow. Paris, 1348. For a while, you lived here.